Hey there. As you can see, I'm making this video from a hotel room. I'm away on business, but I thought I'd take the opportunity to answer a really interesting question that's been sent to me. The question is, could I make better spiritual progress if I was to live in a monastery or an ashram? To all external appearances, the answer should be yes. A monastery is a place specifically created for spiritual development. You'll have a teacher who's from an established lineage, and there will be senior students who are more advanced than you. They could inspire you, and just being around people who are better at something you're trying to do tends to lift you up. Likewise, being in such a positive and controlled environment means you can be more scientific. So cause and effect are far more easy to recognise. There aren't any chaotic elements or uncontrolled things that could affect you, so you don't really know whether the exercises are doing what they're meant to be doing. The problem with the idea of moving to a monastery or ashram or any other circumstance when you're retreating to focus on spiritual work is really with timing. So the ideal time would be when you've mastered the mundane world. So let's imagine someone who's got a job that they've managed to get the hang of and they find it easy and enjoyable. They've got good relationship with people, they're inspired, they're happy, they're well adjusted, they are having a very good life. These people are graduates of the school of life. They've learned the lessons that life has to offer them, and they are ready to go to university. So that's why they're looking to join an ashram or a school of some type. That would be the ideal person, and for them the answer would be yes. Let's think of a circumstance where perhaps it wouldn't be so beneficial. Let's imagine someone who, there are certain areas of life they find very hard to cope with. The world's quite a tough place for them. Maybe they can't interact with people very well, or maybe the stresses of work or other aspects of just living in society are really tough for them. Perhaps their spirituality is a place where they can get away from all this, and because of that they think about retiring to an ashram. They think it's going to be a place where they can get away from their troubles and focus on what they find important. And it's worth noting here that one way of not dealing with some of the necessary challenges of life is to make them far less important and to reject them. So this person has got elements of their personality that could do with some improvement, some development. They need to be grown up or transformed in some way. When they go to their retreat centre or their monastery, one or two things will happen, and both of them tend to be quite negative. The first thing that could happen is that the challenge follows you, and this tends to happen. So whatever you try to avoid tends to appear in the new circumstance. So maybe you didn't like being under control of an authority figure, and you go and join a monastery or convent. When you get there, it's possible that the person assigned to teach you will be just like the employer you just got away from. It's like there's a personality transplant, it's just a different body and face. Or maybe you found it hard to cope with the workload you had at work. You get there and the ashram has a lot of karma yoga, a lot of hard work. It has a very serious routine and there's not much rest. So often you'll find that you're moving from one circumstance of challenge to another one, and that can be very disappointing and it can be emotionally quite hard. The second thing that can happen, which is actually worse, is that you succeed. You find a place where the environment doesn't challenge you as much, so you don't have to deal with any of these hardships. If the teacher is genuine in that circumstance, he will know that he needs to do some fairly drastic things to bring you back into balance, because in this environment you're going to end up practicing the things you're good at, not things you're not good at, so your personality will become less balanced, not more. If the teacher has set this environment up for the same motives, so he's hiding, he's not a genuine master, he's not trying to evolve himself, then you'll be staying with someone else who can't deal with things. So you will not develop at all. And you may go through actions that appear to be spiritual, but evolution happens by learning skills which are new and by developing qualities which are not fully developed. All systems talk about this. Look at the chakras or the elements or the Sephiroth. You'll see these areas of mastery should all be covered. So under that circumstance, the worst thing you can possibly do is go into a position where it's easy, there's no challenge, and you can live a very one-sided life without having to change or improve. I hope that's been beneficial and that you can find something of value in what I've said. Next week I'm going to talk a bit about friends and how to choose friends who you will be beneficial to and they will be beneficial to you, but also how to avoid people who the interaction won't be so positive. Until then, make every word and action count.